Let's talk about one thing that these people talk about after school: employment. The National Bureau of Statistics has reported an increase in Nigeria's unemployment rate, rising to 5.3% in the first quarter of this year from 5.0% in the third quarter of last year. This data was presented in the NBS Nigeria Labor Force Survey for first quarter 2024 released in Abuja. According to the NBS, the unemployment rate is defined as the share of the labor force actively seeking and available for work. The report revealed variations based on educational levels, with postgraduate degree holders experiencing an unemployment rate of 2%, while those with post-secondary education faced a 9% rate. Unemployment amongst youth aged 15 to 24 was recorded at 8.4%, showing a slight decrease from 8.6% in the third quarter of last year. Gender disparities also were noted, with unemployment rates being higher amongst females at 6.2% and males at 4.3%. The NBS also highlighted that time-related underemployment dropped to 10.6% in first quarter, down from 12% in the third quarter of last year. And unemployment actually refers to workers who are employed for less than 40 hours per week, but they are willing to work more, but there is no job for them to work. Additionally, the labor force participation rate fell, and all of that data that was provided by the NBS. But hey, the focus is the report indicating a rise in wage employment. The focus is on Nigeria hitting 5.3% on unemployment. Unemployment has been a big issue in Nigeria for some time, but then talking about it increasing, what do you think? You feel like putting up more companies and just employing everybody who's unemployed. I know that feeling. I have that sometimes too.
This country, everywhere is badly affected. Every aspect. You go to labor, you go to legislature, you go to judiciary, you go to executive, you go to everywhere. It's adversely affected. Unemployment. Let me quickly note, when you look at the analysis that you read out, there were some drops. Oh, there was a drop. That should be, they would want to commend those drops. So, okay, it dropped from this to this. If you practically look into those drops, majority of them are as a result of the resilient spirit of young Nigerians taking it upon themselves to set up an entrepreneurship process and journey for themselves, where they are able to become self-employed entrepreneurs and are able to employ the services of other young people. These are the things that may have amounted to the little drops you may have seen. Because one good and beautiful thing that these hard situations have done to Nigerians is that it has built in them a more resilient spirit. So Nigerians go all out to fend for themselves. They know that you're in Oyo State. You're on your own. So when you know that you're in the state of Oyo, according to local parlance, you realize that you now have to fight for yourself, defend yourself, and fend for yourself. So the young people are becoming more resilient. They are setting up structures here and there that are able to accommodate themselves and 10 other people, 5 other people, and that. So it's so sad that the unemployment rate in Nigeria keeps increasing instead of decreasing. And that will bring us back to two things. First, people who are there do not want to leave that place. People who are there. The same politicians recycle themselves every year. If you have made these giant strides that you have made as a politician, step down, let somebody else go there and make giant strides. By the time, if the pattern is to employ your own friends as commissioners You've employed your own friends. People have done well. Thank you. God bless you. Let another sort of person come and employ their own friends again as commissioners. Let's know that we're employing them, if so. Now, that's on a lighter mode. But people who are in these offices do not want to go out of these offices. They want to remain there.
That's the employed population in general, not just politicians.
Not just politicians.
Okay.
Secondly, it brings us back to the main issue we discussed on SMEs. The empowerment of SMEs. If the government can work hand in hand with SMEs, hand in hand with private sector, then you would realize that it is possible to salvage the unemployment situation in the country. I don't want to mention names of governors and this, but let me tell you some things in River State. Take a drive through River State. From the major Aba Road down to the Oyibo axis. Go into Eleme, go into this, just take a drive around River State. You will see a lot of government projects that were started, abandoned. You see a lot of government projects that were started, completed, commissioned, and never used. It's so sad.
And yet we have people who are unemployed.
We have people who are unemployed who could work in these places.
But let's go back to there's a part I don't like us to exclude when we talk about unemployment. I know we've talked about the place of the government, but there's this thing with the mindset of the youths, right? Now, it's a good thing that a lot of youths are waking up. A lot of young Nigerians are getting busy, are getting their hands busy, are not waiting for... In fact, some people will tell you that they would never work for anybody. A lot of people are doing that and coming up and employing other people, like you mentioned earlier. So let's also talk about the mindset, changing the mindset of the youths from what it used to be, or go to school, you will get a job when you come out of school, right? To go to school, and even while in school, you can find purpose and start doing something for yourself.
Yes, I agree with you. I talked about orientation the other time. These are some things that people need to know. So you have to change the mindset of people. You change it through orientation. You change it by letting them understand. Now, that is good. I agree with you. It is good to let people know that while you are coming out of university, know that there is no chance for you in civil service. Start working your way to make sure that you create something for yourself that gives you a means of livelihood. I agree with that. That is very good. I agree. Well, there is another part of it, this story that I have. On the contrary, it is important for us to also see that we have lost, because of the situation that we've plunged the nation into, we have lost what we call dignity of labor. Dignity of labor has been lost in our system. So people do no longer believe in labor. They just want to. That's why you see many young people get into get-rich-quick syndrome. True. So they don't want to work anymore. Corrected. Meanwhile, before now, a mechanic was an honorable mechanic.
All right. Thank you so much.